Hey guys, Darrell Brooks has cases upcoming for trial for a variety of misconduct, but today let's look at the case for felony intimidation of a victim and felony intimidation of a witness by a person charged with the felony. Here, of course, we're talking about Brooks' conduct with regard to Erika Patterson, who he had assaulted, battered, and then tried to convince not to testify against him and recant her allegations. Let's look at the evidence the state has laid out for their case. Is Darrell Brooks the kind of person who would try to intimidate a victim and lie to get out of criminal charges? Yeah, he's a scumbag. But first, for those whose tender feelings are bruised by the use of the word scumbag to describe Darrell Brooks, I want to say that I'm sorry you're so tender. But the word scumbag was probably invented by Nostradamus when one night, when he was on the really good stuff, he had a vision of Darrell Brooks in the distant future and couldn't think of a word that currently existed that would really capture the vile nature of such a creature. Or maybe not. Either way, Darrell Brooks is a scumbag. During his trial for his murderous conduct that resulted in the parade massacre, he was on, and this seems amazing given what we saw, his best behavior. But the state's evidence in the intimidation of Erika Patterson reveals Darrell Brooks as he normally operates. Let's dig into the criminal complaint. So he runs over Erika on November 2nd, and that's also when he assaulted her, driving his mother's Ford Escape. As others have pointed out, the mother does not come off well, consistently aiding Brooks in dodging consequences of his actions as she bailed him out and gave him the vehicle again, which he used shortly after to run over far more than one person. She doesn't cover herself in glory in this intimidation case either. In jail on the 3rd, Galaxy Brain Brooks calls his mother and tells her, well, I tell you what, whenever I quote Brooks, so you'll know that that's who I'm quoting, I'll give you this cue. He tells her, they're going to need to talk to her and need for her to be a witness, and she's not going to do that, but she can get the charges dropped altogether if she called down there and said, I didn't do what she said. The defendant further informed his mother, if she don't cooperate with them, they're going to have to drop it. All right, well, now granted, he could just be reporting information at this point, but he quickly sets in motion the plan to get Erika to recant her statements of what he did. The very next day, Brooks calls Erika Patterson. He begins whining to her and saying, wow, I was just on the cusp of marrying you, and you did this, and that ruins everything, and it also hurts my mom's feelings. Did you think of that? Brooks asked Erika, why did you do this to me? You know I love you. And he said, listen, Erika. Come to the realization that I'm not going to leave you. You have my daughter. I know your potential, what you can be. I want to marry you. And he goes over their history and he says he isn't fitting to play no more. Then he asks her, will you marry me? But you got to call them people. And then people being, of course, the law enforcement. So a little while later, they're back on the phone, and Erika, perhaps sensing that at least a tiny glimpse of insincerity in Brooks, says, are you saying all this crap just because? Talking about getting married. He responds by telling her he's serious, of course, naturally. Because of this situation, you know, there's a possibility I might not get out of prison, that I can die in prison, right? I'm sitting up here facing 60 effing years. You have to keep your mouth shut. So he started an emotional manipulation of Erika that, you know, well, life was right on the edge of being great between them, and now she goes and does this thing about reporting his misconduct, and that hurts him, destroys her own future, and hurts his mom's feelings. So he's got some blaming, some manipulation going on. He even says he would die in prison. Think of how bad that would make my mama feel. Think of how much pain that would be on her. This is all stuff you wasn't thinking about when you opened your mouth. And then he says when she talks to law enforcement, she should say, I'm telling you nothing. All right, so now we've entered, is this intimidation? It's manipulation at least, right? I mean, he's trying to get her to not testify against him. Okay. But after he lays this groundwork, on the 5th, he gets more intense and specific. But using his Galaxy Brain legal power, he starts referring to Erika in the 3rd person, since he's using a jail phone that could be monitored, and it was. Sadly for Darrell Brooks, this didn't fool law enforcement. During the call, he referred to her in 3rd person sometimes, and she did sometimes too. So see through the charade and see what's going on here. She told him, look, I tried. That's all I'm going to say. I talked to the people and tried. I said everything. I said a lot, but it had nothing to do with you. I said nothing happened. I said a lot. Just know that. Then Brooks responds, stating, long as they know I'm not having anyone contact her, Erika, myself. I'm not trying to have no third party thing. Then she's in on the game and she says they want her medical thing, records. And he says, no and no. She has to show zero cooperation. That means no. Right? Nope, I'm not giving you no medical records. No, she needs to stand firm. She can't let these people talk her into anything, he says, while he's trying to talk her into lying to law enforcement about the assault she suffered. So on November 6th, one day after his initial appearance, he's got a no contact order with Erika Patterson. But it doesn't stop Brooks, of course. He continues to discuss this medical record situation. Tell them, no, I'm not signing over to give you the medical record. I'm not cooperating with y'all. I'm not coming to no court. Once she tell them, back to the third person, to do the galaxy brain, once she tell them that and keep stressing that and staying firm, they got no choice but to drop the case. I hope she realizes the mistake she made. I hope she realizes what she did, and I hope she never do anything that stupid ever again. Well, exactly. I mean, when you get punched in the mouth and run over by somebody in a car, it's a little over the top to let police know that, right? Well, Brooks' tactics are having some effect on Erika, or at least that's what she's telling him, because on the 7th, she speaks to him in jail and tells him she don't want to see him incarcerated and that she was drinking during the incident. That's what she's now telling police, she says. But Brooks, savvy as he is on the legal stuff, says that's not enough. And Erika should have told him he didn't do anything, that it was all made up. Erika says, well, she did say she fell and tripped and he did not do it. In response, Brooks says, she was supposed to tell him that everything was fabricated. The statement was a lie, all that. That's what she was supposed to say. I can't have no contact to tell anyone what to say because that's going to be bad for me, he says. Yeah, it's going to be bad for you, but it's going to get a lot worse for everybody else. Now, Brooks isn't liking this. He's kind of hinted at first what he needs Erika to do. He's kind of guilted her into it, but she hasn't done exactly what he wants. He's still sitting in jail, and his frustration is mounting. So on the 8th, he tells Erika, you don't say anything to me encouraging at all. And she says, is it all about you right now? Because you know what you did too, right? Well, that's the wrong thing to say to Brooks because it is always all about him. So he goes from guilting and sympathy and requesting to now blaming. Okay, and what did you do to cause it? You trying to make it seem like everything is always everyone else's fault but yours. Projection. Like you don't never do nothing to cause crap. And the whole cause of this crap was something that you effing did. And then he ends the call on this upbeat comment. You did this crap and you couldn't even keep your mouth shut after numerous people told you that crap. This ain't the place for you to be doing this crap and you still ran your mouth. And I'm the one sitting in here facing all this time. Erika responds, I'm the one trying to get you out, right? Brooks, of course, who loves her deeply and knows her potential and wants to marry her, says, you need to learn to shut your effing mouth. F you then, bitch. He takes a break on November 11th to keep his mom up to speed, and his mom confirms without Erika testifying, they don't have a case. And Brooks lets her know that and says, you're going to get your bail money back. But as I said, Brooks was getting increasingly frustrated with Erika's efforts to recant, and he moved to threatening her, making the state's case for intimidation even easier. So on November 8th, we'll go back a little bit at the Milwaukee jail. Brooks tells Erika, if I tell your bitch ass to call my mom a hoe, that's what the F you do. And if that's the case, if you don't give a F about me, then I can have my family get on your ass then. Now remember, this is who he knows the potential of and wants to marry. Continue to blame her, Erika, for being in custody, saying, I'm in here because you can't keep your mouth shut. State's case getting a little easier. By November 15th, Brooks has lost patience entirely. He gives up on the galaxy brain third-party references and makes it clear to Erika, you're going to get hurt if you don't get me out of jail, right? If you don't get these charges dropped, I'm going to get you hurt. And in the course of that, he makes this potentially one of the easiest cases ever for the state. So on the 15th, Brooks is talking to Erika and he says, You didn't put up a cent on my bail. Why should someone else have to pay for some crap you caused? Right, dude who took his mom's money to get the bail, driving his mom's car to assault Erika, living in his mom's house, sometimes on an air mattress, which we'll go over in a different video. Erika informs him, you tried to, but before she can finish, he says, no, I didn't try to do anything, because if I tried to do something, you wouldn't be on the phone now. That's what you're not realizing. If I really tried to do something to you, you wouldn't be on the phone now. If I would have told MFers to go do something, you wouldn't be on the phone now. So don't tell me what I tried to do, because at any given time, it wouldn't be on try. It would have been successful. You ain't know who I am by now? You ain't know my little N-words is gonna do what I tell them to do? Do you understand my people are gonna move how I tell them to move? Says Air Mattress King and perpetually broke Brooks, who has to use his mom's car for his rap videos. She responds, so you about to do that to me? This potentially coming as a surprise to Erika, who had only a few days ago heard Brooks profess his deep love for her and admiration for her potential. He says, do you understand that? And she goes, yes, I do. So threat made. She says she gets it. He confirms the understanding. Notice here he's able to fully understand the word understand and use it in the appropriate context. So in another call on the 15th, he continues to tell her things that make the state's case easier. You still talk to the people. You still talk to them when they call, dumbass. You ain't supposed to communicate with them at all. She says, I'm not. They haven't been calling. They've been emailing. That's not what Brooks is trying to communicate, as he tells her, bitch, shut your MFing mouth. You still can't humble yourself, so if you still talking this dumb crap, I'm going to do it for you. Either way, you're going to do it yourself and bow down, bitch, or I'm going to make you. Now, which one do you want? Then he threatens her, saying, you acting like you got so much MFing protection like you say. Bitch, you on my MFing turf. Remember that. So there's your real Darrell Brooks. After attacking and injuring a woman, he threatens her again just for telling the truth about what happened. And while in this state of mind, having attacked family members with a firearm, having attacked Erika with his fist and with his mother's SUV, he's let loose by the system and with his mom's help on the public again for a final disastrous time. Thanks, bye.